Hi, I'm Jeff Allen, Project Director with ATI Restoration. So we're in Houston, Texas today, and we're going over our flood wall presentation. This is something that we built here in the warehouse to empower and educate both our technicians, our supervisors, and even our clients to basically show what the proper procedures are when a water loss comes in. This is our flood wall behind me. We built it to look exactly like a house or a multifamily unit or even a commercial environment where the studs are 16 on center. We've got drywall, we've got insulation, we've got baseboards, we've got carpet pad, and even a subfloor. So the initial planning procedures when we show up to a water loss are going to be a lot of photographs. We're going to start our documentation and start docu-sketching. In water mitigation, there are three categories of water. Category 1 is your clean water loss. That usually comes from a pipe break. Category 2 is your gray water loss. That can come from a leaking washing machine or a leaking dishwasher. Whereas Category 3 is a contaminated source originating from beyond the P-trap, or it could be a sewage loss or even rising floodwaters. Inside the wall, we've put a supply line pipe. We've actually drilled holes in the pipe. We have a spigot on the outside of the wall. We'll run a hose through it, and we can actually see water in real time as if a pipe was breaking. We also flood the carpet before our guests arrive about 1 to 2 hours before to kind of make it very similar to what we would be walking into. A lot of our dispatching takes place within 1 or 2 hours, so we want to make it as realistic as possible. So we put the flags on the pipes because when we drill cavity holes in which to dry the wall cavities, we want to be able to show people that the air is actually getting inside the cavities. So the flags will start waving when the air movers are on them to show that there is actually drying going on. So it's important as water mitigation specialists to get to the site as quickly as possible and start the mitigation process. So that way we can decrease the instances of secondary damages, which could be mold or even structural damages. When we first arrive to a water loss, one of our technicians is going to use a variety of instruments to see what is impacted, what is affected by the water loss. We'll use thermal imaging cameras, which will show a temperature differential. So a lot of times on the thermal imaging camera, it'll show up as blue. We'll then use our moisture meters to verify that what we're seeing is actually wet. And we can also use an instrument called a thermal hygrometer, which will show the temperature and relative humidity in the room affected by a water loss. Many times we will mark affected building materials with blue tape just to show everybody who's involved what is affected. One of the first steps in mitigating a water loss properly is controlling the spread of water. We do that most effectively by extracting. Extracting water looks just like it sounds. We'll use a large vacuum, either a portable or on a truck mount, to pull all the water that's sitting on the flooring out of the flooring. This is our restoration supervisor, Hasiel Saucedo, and he's going to be walking us through proper techniques on water extraction. In the water extraction process, we'll use short, even strokes to make sure that we're getting as much water as we possibly can with each pass. The water extraction process can be time-consuming, however, it's an extremely important first step in proper water mitigation. Once we make a few passes over an area, we may have to come back and make another few passes over the same area just to make sure that we're getting as much water as we possibly can. Once water has been sufficiently extracted, the next step in proper water mitigation for a Category 1 is to control the humidity and begin to stabilize the environment. We'll do this by using dehumidifiers and air movers. Although our equipment is always in good working condition, sometimes accidents happen. We use a tray underneath our dehumidifiers to catch any potential water leaks. Dehumidifiers and air movers on their own are great, but using them in combination is where the real magic happens. Air movers will move across a building material quickly and create evaporation, while the dehumidifiers will pick up that evaporation and heat up the environment, as the building materials are more likely to give away their water when heated up. Set the air movers depending on the type of water loss that you're walking into. If it's coming from above, you may want more of an angle. If it's down below, you may want less of an angle to get more of the wall at the base. When we arrive at a water loss quickly, we may be able to dry the structure in place without doing any demolition whatsoever. However, sometimes we do need to do some controlled removal of building materials in order to expedite the drying process. In this case, we're going to be removing baseboards in order to expose the bottom half of the drywall for expedited drying. After the baseboards are removed, we could even drill some cavity holes to open up the cavities in which to dry. You'll notice that while Hasiel is using the utility knife, he's wearing proper PPE, which consists of cut-resistant gloves, either an N95 mask or respirator, and safety glasses or goggles. He's also cutting away from himself and using proper ergonomics while in the half-kneeling position. Once the baseboard has been sufficiently scored, we can start removing it away from the wall slowly. By doing this, we minimize damage to the actual wall itself. Sometimes in a Category 1 water loss, there may be insulation in exterior or shared walls that may not be able to be dried in place. In this case, Hasiel will measure precisely at 2 feet. He'll make small marks on the wall, and then he will run his chalk line to make sure that the cuts we make are perfectly straight. For our drywall cuts, Hasiel is going to be using a combination of a ket saw hooked up to a HEPA vacuum. This will make it so there's minimal dust created during the demolition control removal process. We utilize air scrubbers even on Category 1 water losses during the control removal process to remove as much dust from the air as possible. Air scrubbers filter out 99.97% down to 0.3 microns. Not only will we perform a horizontal cut at 2 feet across the wall, but we'll also perform various vertical cuts from the line down to the floor to make the controlled removal process even simpler. During the controlled removal process, we'll remove the drywall slowly in order to not create a significant amount of dust and debris. Once the drywall has been removed, Hasiel will put it carefully into a trash bag, making sure it doesn't get too heavy to hold and carry. He'll cut the wet insulation out, pull it carefully from the wall, and add it to the demo bag. During a Category 1 water loss, using these types of bags is perfectly fine. However, in a Category 2 or Category 3, we would want to use a 6 mil bag sealed and brought outside of the containment. Once the drywall and insulation have been removed, it's now time for the initial cleaning procedures. In this case, Hasiel is using a HEPA vacuum to make sure we get all dust and debris. In a Category 1 water loss, we may be able to dry the carpet pad and carpet in place. However, in a Category 2 water loss, carpet pad removal is mandatory. In a Category 3, both the carpet pad and carpet must be removed. Once all dust and debris have been sufficiently cleaned and vacuumed, we will apply an antimicrobial solution to all the demoed areas. You'll notice that Hasiel is still wearing the proper PPE of an N95 mask, safety glasses, and nitrile gloves. Once we've applied the antimicrobial solution, we'll wipe down the studs and wall cavities. We'll do this even in a Category 1 situation to make sure we leave the structure as clean as possible. Once the cleaning process is complete, we will reset our drying equipment of dehumidifiers and air movers in order to sufficiently dry the building structure. Our technicians will return to the site to monitor the drying progress. Once the building materials have reached their drying goal, the mitigation phase is now complete and we can move on to the reconstruction phase. As a full-service turnkey restoration and reconstruction company, ATI Restoration is capable of returning the property to pre-loss conditions. Utilizing ATI service on the reconstruction side makes it extremely easy for both the homeowner or a property manager, so that way the same team is involved in the entire process. We're there from day one all the way to the end. We understand the unique needs of the homeowner or property manager, and we can make sure that those expectations are met and exceeded.